daily, not weekly, every single day, meaning today, Primerica is paying out 5.1 every single day. They are paying out 5.1 million in death claims. Okay, so I just wanted to point out those two pointers when it comes to the credibility of our company. Now let's look at the need, right? If we're going to be doing something, we want to make sure that there's a huge need for what we do. So Edward Martinez, go through these statistics with us and show how there is such a huge need for we do when it comes to our life insurance.
So families rely on you. In US, 90 million family rely on their insurers to help them stay on track to financial and retirement security. Inferior products. Family are still being sold the wrong products, with 60.5% of individual life policy issued in the US being cash value life insurance. That's a tragedy. The need gap. A record number of US adults, 102 million, and a growing number of Canadian adults, 8.4 million, say they don't have any life insurance coverage at all or recognize that they need more coverage. Misunderstanding the cost. More than half, 54% of Americans admit to making a wild guess on their estimation of the cost of life insurance coverage. 72% of Americans consistently overestimate the actual cost. Point three in Canada, 53% report a belief that life insurance is too expensive or that they have other financial priority as a reason for not purchasing coverage. Financial insecurity. The majority of Americans, 66%, worry their family would be unable to pay monthly expenses if they passed away.
Is anybody surprised by some of these statistics?
I'm not.
Would you guys agree that there is a need? Like people are suffering right now and they need us. And we have a license. It's like there's no cure for cancer. Like this is a cancer. And we have the license that can solve this. We have the cure. We just need to get out there and be talking to people, right? If we're not talking to people, we can't cure this, right? We have to start opening our mouths and be passionate and get that crusade inside of us so that we go out and help families. Go ahead, Edward.
So the 60.5% really hit me hard because I thought the number was hard, but that means the impact that Primerica, A.L. Williams had in the industry, because before it was much higher. And now, there's a lot of companies that have to, in order to compete with us, they having to create other products that are, still inferior, but we're making an impact in the industry, or made an impact
We're
in it.
for sure making an impact, but there's still
But
over
there's
half
still exactly.
that have that cash value life policy. And when we truly understand how that works and we know how it's such a ripoff for clients, for families, we have to we got to get out there and fix that, right? Okay, so the need is there. So when it comes to life insurance, right, there's four different situations that we're going to come across, right? We're going to come across people that have no coverage at all, which means their family is 100% at risk. We're going to come across people that have very limited coverage, or they're very underinsured because they're using things like group life insurance. They got a mortgage insurance, which, by the way, it's a life insurance, right? So, and they don't have any control over it. And I'm going to go in more depth with these things. Then we just discussed this. 60.5% of people have, if they have life insurance, they're going to have a cash value policy, meaning they have some sort of life insurance that has a savings that's built into it. And we already know whenever you have a cash value policy, the premium is going to be much higher. And then we'll come across some clients that they do have term insurance already, right? But there are different types of term insurance. So do we know how to identify, okay, what type of term policy do they have? But then also know that no matter what it is that they have as far as their term policy, it's not going to be as good as what we're able to offer them. Now, by the way, I know I mentioned this on Tuesday with the Chat GPT with Go. When I said to ask about the will. I was with my dad the other day and we actually did this and we asked Chat GPT. We got very specific and we asked him about buying term and investing the difference into a mutual fund versus getting a cash value policy. We actually talked about index universal life policy. And so not today, not right now. I know how people are. Don't pick up your phone and start asking ChatGPT right now. Later after training, go do that and be very specific. I'm a 25-year-old female or I'm a 35-year-old female. I want to get life insurance and save for retirement. Am I better off getting a term policy and investing into a Roth IRA or getting an index universal life policy? And see what it says later on, not right now, later on. But since everyone's so excited about ChatGPT and ChatGPT knows all, and you'll be excited when you see the response. Okay. But anyways, let's
I'm
dive
sorry,
into these.
Natasha, if they're gonna do that, they gotta also give the budget and say, listen, I have this much to invest, $200 a month or $300, whatever
Yeah,
you want
with
to invest.
$200, yeah, give the I have $200 a month. I want to use it to protect my family with life insurance and invest into invest for my retirement. Am I better off with the term? And then you ask the question, but be specific, and you're gonna get excited when you see how it breaks it down, and it gives like a full breakdown. But it is an alignment. It agrees with what we preach to people. Okay. All right, so let's go into the no coverage at all, right? And from those statistics that Edward went over, we already know that a majority of people, they don't have any coverage at all. So if they don't have any coverage at all, then Valerie, go ahead, read through this slide for everybody. What are they relying on?
They're relying on GoFundMe. The funeral memories and tributes categories among our largest. Since our launch in May of 2010, more than 340 million have been raised in this category across 113,000 campaigns. Average of 3,000 per campaign. Average funeral alone costs over 7,000. And I just want to add something onto this, Natasha, because I had a client and she didn't have any money to bury her son. And there was no funds, not even the hospital, not even the state. It was like just relying on people to chip in so that she could bury her son. It was really, really a sad situation. So I mean,
Right.
I understand this. That in itself is
Yes.
the reason why, someone would need this, life insurance.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's the thing. A lot of people, we saw the statistics, they don't have any life insurance. And then they rely on something like GoFundMe. You can even Google to see like the amount of GoFundMes that are in your area. You can put your area and see, and that can be something that can become part of your crusade, something in your heart. I have to eliminate people thinking that GoFundMe is their life insurance. It's not. And you can see it over here. The average that people raise is only $3,000. But a funeral, they're saying it costs 7,000. I would say it probably costs more than 7,000, right? Maybe that's if they just want to cremate, but if they don't want to do like they're not even going to be able to do that. Right? So we have to again get passionate about the need that is out there because people cannot be relying on things like GoFundMe to be their way to handle it in the event of an unexpected death in their family. And it will happen, right? We know that unexpected deaths happen and people need to be prepared. That's why they have the life insurance when those unexpected tragedies happen. All right. So, what about relying on group coverage, right? Oh, I have life insurance through my job. I don't need life insurance because I have it through my job. Well, they don't have enough coverage. People that rely on their life insurance through work are very underinsured, right? We're supposed to have anywhere from over here, it says 5 to 10 times whatever our annual income is. That's what we're supposed to have when it comes to life insurance. Now, if we have young kids and way more financial expenses, we're not looking at 5 to 10 times. It should be at least 8 to 10 times whatever our income is in life insurance coverage. They're not going to get that through their
People change
policy.
jobs on average every 4.2 years.
What was that, Jackie? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'll get to that statistic.
Sorry.
But people cannot. They should not be relying on the life insurance through their work. They're underinsured. If it's free, you get whatever's free. But don't you dare pay extra for life insurance. Take whatever's free, and then you need to have your own policy. Why? Well, one, you're underinsured. But in addition to that, you can't take that life. If you leave your job, you lose that coverage. And then you can see the statistic over here that Jackie was mentioning. People change jobs on average every 4.2 years. You can ask, I mean, if you just ask people, do you plan on being at this job forever? Most people are going to say no. It's very rare to find somebody that's like, oh yeah, I love it here. And if they're saying that, they probably have only been at the job for like a month. Probably just started. They're still excited, right? But after 6 months or so, I promise you that response is going to change. I see that Valerie, your hand is raised.
Another thing to add on to this also is when you think about life insurance, it's not only like you say the funeral cost or whatever, but it's something you're leaving for your family to take care of, whatever things they need to take care of after that. So a lot of people just tend to
Absolutely.
focus on one aspect of it, but it's the benefit that you leave the family with, to at least
Absolutely.
beyond where they're at.
Absolutely, absolutely. So having the right amount of protection is extremely important. Now that policy, it's tied to your employer, right? So you have no control over it. You're not the owner of your policy. I have a client of mine that she works at a hospital, and it's a big hospital here in South Florida, and she was telling me that she during COVID, that was a benefit that the hospital decided to get rid of because they were having to cut down expenses, and so they got rid of the group policy that they had for their employees. So you had no say in it, right? So if you're getting it as a tool to protect your loved ones, why would you give that control to your employer? Who do you think cares more about your family, you or your employer? I promise you they don't care about your family. Okay? If they got it, it's a business at the end of the day, and if they have to, profit and they have to cut expenses, they will go ahead and cut that expense and they won't think twice about it. Okay? So that has to do with group policy. Now, what about term? Oh, go ahead, Edward.
I just want to say that Coach Jesus had a great point. Some clause have that you have to actively be at work. So that means that if you go on medical leave, you're not an active employee. If you die while on medical leave, you're not covered. So some plans have that as well, which is a good point.
Yeah, that's another great point too. A lot of the plans have that. And what I tell people, what are the chances you're going to die at your job? Right? And it's not even Edward saying if you're on medical leave, but shoot, there's car accidents that happen.
Yep.
You're driving to work. You're not at work yet. You get into an accident on the way to work or on an accident on the way home. You're not at work. You wouldn't be covered in those scenarios, right? And when those unexpected things happen, usually it's situations like that in a car accident or something, along those lines. So, what about term policies, right? There's different types of term life insurance. So there's level term, which is what our product is, where you get a death benefit. And for the duration of that term, so let's say it's a 30-year term, there's a 300,000 death benefit. If you were to pass, your beneficiaries, your loved ones, they get 300,000, and it's going to remain that same way for the 30 years, and the premium will stay the same for the 30 years or whatever the length of the term is. That is a level term. Okay? But then there's also something called an annual renewable term, where the death benefit will remain the same for the duration of the term. However, the premium is going to be going up annually, right? So it starts at $65 a month, but by the end, you can see it's $450 a month for that same 300,000 of coverage. So that's an annual renewable term. Then there's a decreasing term where the premium will stay the same. However, the death benefit will little by little start to reduce, right? So it starts at 300,000 and by the end of the term, in this example, it's at 60,000. Now, cash value, not cash value, but universal life and index universal life that has the insurance plus the savings attached to it, the insurance part works exactly like the annual renewable term, where the cost of the insurance is going up every single every year, meaning more money that you send in your premium, right? Part of it goes to the life insurance, part of it goes into the cash value. But every year, less of it is going to be going into the cash value because the cost of the insurance is continuing to go up. Are you guys following me? Now, when I saw this, I don't know if you guys have the same reaction, but I'm like, why the heck would anybody ever get this? Like, I don't know if anyone else is thinking that way, but that was I literally, when I was going over this with my dad, it's like, why the hell would anyone get that? Like, how can somebody? But if people don't know, and they a lot of the times they really truly do not understand what they have or how it works, then it's very easy to get sold something like that. When it comes to mortgage insurance, people get insurance to protect their mortgage. A lot of the times they get a decreasing term policy. And the way that the agents they sell it that it just makes sense to them, that they're like, oh yeah, that's a great product. And it's like, no, it's not a great product. What are you talking about? Right? So that has to do with the term. Now, what about cash value, right? There's if you understand how cash value insurance works, you'll understand universal life, you're going to understand index universal life. When it comes to cash value policies, we have to understand really there's the four evils, we call it, of cash value policy. Right? So you were paying for your life your insurance policy, part of it, like I said, pays for the insurance. Some of it's going into the savings that's supposed to be growing for you over time. But what we know is that for the first, anywhere from a year to 4 years, and by the way, I have seen some policies that it's more than 4 years, but no money is going to go into the cash value. So that balance in the savings is going to stay at zero. So imagine if it's for 3 years, and for 3 years you're paying your premium, but after 3 years, nothing has gone into the savings. Then you have to wonder, well, where's that money going? There's a lot of high fees that are tied into these policies. There's also a lot of commission that gets paid to the agent that's selling this trash. So you're paying for fees, you're paying for commissions for the agents, but not one of your dollars, Kaisha, is going into your savings. Now, once it starts to go in there, right, it's growing at a very low rate of return, anywhere from 2 to 4%. Now, we understand the Rule 72 and the importance of getting a high rate of return. And if you're not getting it, your money's not going to be growing for you. Now, if you want to take any money out because you have an emergency, right? And a lot of the times they tell you that you're able to take your money out if you have an emergency and be your own bank and all that crap that they say, excuse my language. If you want to do that, yeah, you can take money out if you even have any money in there, right, Sharon? However, they're going to treat it like a loan and you have to pay that back, and they're going to charge you interest on it, anywhere from 6 to 8%. And when you pass, whatever your death benefit is, that's all your family is going to receive. They will not get the cash value. By the way, also not listed on here, but just a fact. And when you go and do your chat GPT, you can start asking more questions. The cash value, the chances of that cash value to ever be more than whatever the death benefit is. If my death benefit is 150,000, my savings will never be more than 150,000. The death benefit, it will never, it's going to be capped at whatever the death benefit is. And if it's going to go over, which it's very unlikely, then they will adjust the product. But the chances for that to happen, it's like slim to none. Okay. So to buy this product as a means to be planning for your retirement and all those things, it makes no sense. There's way better options for the clients. Now, what about the term? Our term, I don't know about other companies' term policies. I can't tell you the benefits, but what I can tell you is the benefits that our product has. So Sharon, would you mind reading through these Primerica term benefits that are here on this slide? You just can read through them,
Okay, Primerica
please.
term,
Yes, ma'am.
rated A, superior by AM Best. Term durations up to 35 years. Guarantee rates for the initial term. Industry leading renewal options. Industry leading renewal rates. Increasing benefit rider. Terminal illness accelerated rider up to 70%. One child rider covers all kids. Child rider conversion. Clients achieve contestability. Conditional coverage. No war or terror clause. Waiver of premium riders. E-delivery of policies. And automatic increase request.
Thank you, Sharon. So guys, that's just some of the benefits that our product has. And we're going to go through some of these benefits with you all and explain them. But we have two different products, right, when it comes to our life insurance that we're able to offer our clients. We have a power term and we have precision term. So the power term is designed for our clients that are purchasing lower face amounts of coverage. And they want the convenience of getting that policy issued and getting it issued fast, where they don't have to do a medical exam. Or maybe you have a client that you know, man, this person is so busy, like just to get the appointment with them was like, you know, you were jumping through hoops of fire. And they let you know, listen, I know I'm going to be traveling. I can't do a medical exam. I'm not going to make the time to do it. Is there any way I can do this without having to do the medical exam? Yes. However, they only can be applied, like the max that you can get, you can see is 300,000. Now, with this product, it does not mean that there's no underwriting. They still are going through an underwriting process. It just means that they don't have to do the medical exam where they're going to have to do blood, urine, all that stuff. And what it does is it uses some of the latest life insurance underwriting technology with real-time underwriting. So this real-time underwriting, it's designed to permit an underwriting decision to be made within 30 seconds while you're doing the application. So based on the answers, you know, that when we answer the medical questions, right? So based on the answers that we provide with the or the client provides with the medical questions, the company, they're able to, the underwriters, they can pull prescription history and any other medical details. And 52% of our cases that are submitted, they're underwritten, they're real time, like they're submitted and they are approved right away. The average time, so half of the ones that are submitted power term are approved and issued right away. The average time for a decision to be made is 25.6 seconds. So literally you submit the application and a decision is made like right away. Now this is only available with the power term, okay? Let's see. Precision term. So precision term is designed for clients that are purchasing higher face amounts and they want to get the most competitive price, right? So this is always going to be a little cheaper, and not a little, sometimes it's significantly cheaper depending on the age of the client to do precision term. Right, so they can get a very competitive price with this. We can provide a very competitive price with this product. Now, precision term, it's going to use traditional underwriting, so it'll still include the prescription history. So that is looked at. They're going to do a medical exam. Now, you're going to see there are times where they can get what they call the acceleration, where that medical exam will be waived. So we need to be aware of that because I know we let our clients know that they're going to have to do a medical exam. And we talk about how that medical exam is so great because they see everything, So when I tell clients how, they should be excited about doing this exam, they're going to get their results. It's stuff that their doctors don't even check for. If you were going to go do this exam on your own, you're going to be paying quite a bit of money. So, we sell this medical exam, at least I do when I talk to my clients. However, I also let them know, especially if it's somebody who's young and very healthy, I said, now there might be a chance because of your health and I can see you're in great shape and you're young. There is a chance that they might actually waive that medical exam and you'll get approved right away. I just can't tell you for sure, but I just want to let you know that expect to have to do a medical exam, but there is a chance that that medical exam might get waived. Okay. So how do they make this decision? And I honestly, even with this, I still sometimes I'm surprised by the ones that they waive the exam. So I still, even though I read all of this, I still don't really know how they truly make that decision. But basically, this acceleration process, it identifies any applicants through the underwriting guidelines that they have that they can make a decision without you needing, like I said, to do the blood, urine, and get all their vitals. Now, it's going to use a combination of predictive models and traditional guidelines that they'll use to decide if they're gonna go ahead and waive that medical exam. Now, only 24% of precision term policies are accelerated. So that's why I tell you guys, expect your client to have to do a medical exam. There's only a 1/4 of all the applications that get submitted where that medical exam is waived and they don't have to go ahead and do it. I think there's actually some people in training where they might have gotten off that their medical exam was waived. So it definitely does happen. It's an so over here, let's see on the right. So it is automatic. You got to check your life manager. So you'll see, because maybe they order the medical exam, but then you'll see accelerated and you'll see that they canceled the thing and that it was issued already. There's It can still get upgraded. So just because someone gets accelerated and that medical exam gets waived does not mean, oh, they're only going to get the standard rate. They can't qualify for a better classification. They still can get upgraded and still get a better classification. And then at the bottom, you can see ages 18 through 49, face amount. So the 150,000 to just under 750,000 is the only ones that they will even consider it for. So if you have a client that's applying for $1 million of coverage, this is not going to, they will have to do their medical exam. Check my time. Okay. We still are good on time. So increasing benefit rider. Let's see. Sherry, do you want to go ahead and read through this increasing benefit rider for us?
Sure. Good morning. Good morning, team.
Good
So the
morning.
IBR is an optional rider that will automatically increase the original face amount of a policy unless an increase is declined. One IBR per policy. The increases are 10% of the original base plan. There are 10 increases spanning over a 10-year period, automatically included on eligible policies. Each coverage increases comes with a premium increase, which is shown in the policy at the time of issue at each anniversary date. A letter illustrated the new coverage and premium amounts is sent to the client. People forget this all the time. And the maximum additional coverage offered for an IBA is up to 500,000. On this side also?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. These are like the special notes.
Okay, so ages 18 to 55 issued at standard or better class. Client can freeze at any time. Accepted coverage increases will be maintained. And client can decline and increase, and no additional increases will be offered.
Okay, so thank you, Sherry. So with this IBR, and Sherry's right, a lot of clients, they don't even realize. So they get a letter prior to this increase happening. Okay, now we can tell our clients about this up front. However, it's our job to make sure we remind them. I don't know if anyone else gets mail and sometimes you don't open your mail right away.
Yep.
And you have like a pile of mail and it can get lost in there. Or if I'm the only one that does that. But a lot of clients, they'll be like, I never received anything. Or they're like, oh, I find this. But it's like after the increase already happened.
Right.
So we have a report that we should be checking regularly so we know what clients have their IBR coming up. It's a great tool that we can use to reach out to our clients, follow up with them, maybe get referrals, right? By calling them to let them know that this is, they should have received a letter. Remember that IBR benefit that I told you about, where you qualify for a 10% increase in your coverage. You don't have to prove insurability, but your premium will go up slightly. This is designed so that we can keep up with the cost of inflation, right? As the cost of everything is going up, we're supposed to have more protection. Right. So we want to make sure we're checking those reports. So we are getting in touch with our clients. Now, Sherry went over this at the bottom, but once they decide that they don't want to accept the increase, they no longer qualify for this benefit. Like that benefit stops the minute the client declines that increase, and then they will stay at whatever coverage they have. So make sure you stay on top of it. I have one client that she had told me, like, she was very clear, no, I want it to stay this way. I don't want it to change or anything like that. So I made sure when we did that application, I put it in my phone like a reminder when her anniversary was coming, just so I could reach out to that one specific client because she was so adamant. And do you have any idea how much she appreciated that phone call? Like she was so, because it's a whole year later, right? But those little things really truly make us stand out when we do that. Go ahead, Sherry.
Yes. So if you ignore the letter, and maybe you didn't, you ignored it, because we get, like you said, you get mail all the time. You just put it over there. You don't even open it. Now your your policy has went up because no news is good news. Supposedly, they think if you don't respond, you must want it. So now your policy has
Yeah.
increased.
Yeah. So
Now,
yeah, if you don't say I don't want it, it automatically will increase that, give that 10% increase.
so now this happens year after year. Now, 10 years done went by, and now all of a sudden you get the phone call. So I just had that. I said, I've mentioned this to you a couple times. If you do not respond, they're gonna assume you want the increase, but you can always call at any time and say you do not want that. So we do, it is a
Right.
good idea to remind your clients.
Yeah, remind your
you know,
clients. You can have a like when I called that woman, I explained it to her again.
Yeah.
And she still said, no, I understand, but no, I want it to stay the same. And I said, okay, as soon as we decline this one though, now for the rest of the term of your policy, it's going to stay the same. You will no longer have that benefit option. She's like, that's okay. Yeah, I don't want it. So we kept it how it was. And that's okay. But at least you're giving them the option and you're letting them know. And it shows that you're on top of it, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's see. No war or terror clause. So a war or terror clause, it's an insurance in an insurance contract, means that if the insured is killed by an act of war or terror, the insurance company can refuse to pay out the death claim. We do not have this clause in our policies. Now, you might see this and be like, well, what's the big deal about this? And it is a big deal because there is a lot of situations where we have like the shooting that happened in Vegas. They considered that an act of terror. The minute something is declared an act of terror, if a life insurance policy has this no war or terror clause on their contract, and unfortunately someone is a victim in one of these events, that death claim can now be denied because it was considered an act of terror, and that's how they passed away in one of these events. And now the insurance company can say, nope, we don't have to pay out that death claim. Primerica does not have this clause on our policy, so this is a big deal that we always point out. Okay, so let's see. The disability of waiver premium. So this is a benefit that pays out the premium of the that will pay the premium for the client if the client were to become disabled. So if the client is disabled, they'd have to be disabled for a period of 6 months, right? So they put in a claim. They have to be they send in the claim to Primerica. They have to continue paying their premium for 6 months. Primerica will then waive the premium they'll refund them the payments that they have been making, and they will continue to pay their policy for however long that that client is disabled for. Now, this waiver of premium, it's something when we do the application that we have to select that they want the waiver of premium, and there is an additional fee for this rider. So they do pay a little bit extra. However, it's a great benefit to have on the policies. Now, it's only for ages 18 through 55. So if somebody's over the age of 55, they don't qualify for this rider. And it'll terminate at age 60. Now, if the client has been utilizing this waiver of premium, meaning they've been, maybe they got disabled at 40 and they're going to be disabled for the rest of their life, Primerica will continue to pay that premium payment for as long as they remain disabled. So that doesn't mean that they lose that at now age 60. No, Primerica will continue paying it, assuming they had been exercising this benefit already prior to getting to that age. Okay, so the terminal illness benefit, this is on every single policy. It's not something that we pay for. It's automatically tied into our policies. So this is if the insured is diagnosed by a physician as having a terminal illness and they have 6 months or less, they're able to apply for this benefit. That meaning it's in the policy already. They can put in a claim so that they can take out money of their policy prior to them passing. So Primerica, and one of the things I like to point out is a lot of companies say, oh, well, we have this living benefit or whatever, but there's a lot of like stipulations, meaning, okay, well, we'll send the money. Let's say you want to do some sort of medical treatment. The company will send the check directly to that, whatever treatment it is. The client will not be receiving an actual check. With our terminal illness benefit, they can take out that money. So they can take out, if they have the waiver of premium, they can take up to 70% of their death benefit prior to passing, up to $400,000, and use that money for whatever. It can be for a medical treatment. It can be to travel the world. They will get the check and they can go use it for whatever they want. If they do not have the waiver of premium on their policy, they can take out up to 40%, up to $250,000. Same thing with no, like it has to be whatever you want to use it for, you can go ahead and use it for. Okay, the child rider, the max coverage for the child rider is up to 50,000 of coverage. I'm going to finish here, Dad, because I know we're out of time. So I'll finish with this one. And I think there was only a little bit left, but we'll finish here. So the child rider, it's going to cover all of the client's children up to 50,000 for just one fee. So the child rider, what's the benefits? Well, when a child turns 25, so let's say I have all three of my kids on my policy. When my son Christian turns 25, he can then go get his own policy, doesn't have to prove insurability, and he can get up to 5 times the coverage, up to 125,000. So let's say my child rider is 50,000. He can only apply for up to 125,000. He doesn't get 5 times the 50, that he would not be able to get 250,000. Up to 125,000 without having to prove insurability. If I were to pass away, all of my children would, Primerica would continue to pay for that child rider. So let's say I died. Obviously, if I die, I don't have life insurance anymore. However, I had my 3 kids on the policy. That child rider would continue to get paid for all 3 of them until each one of them turns 25. They then can get onto their own policy. The child rider, like I said, it covers all of the kids in the household. If I had a baby, that newborn would be covered after 5 days. So they have to be 5 days old. And then they would then be included in the child rider. And the issue age is, and I was talking to an agent that just got recruited, and this used to be different. So make sure you make note if you're an old timer like myself. The issue age is 5 days to 18 years old. If I'm doing an application for a client today and one of their kids is already 18, they would not be able to be under the child rider. They would have to take out their own policy on that 18-year-old. Okay. But the kids are all covered all the way up until age 25. So guys, I hope this helped. I'm going to share this in the chat. There's just a little bit of more information on here that explains the benefits in more detail, like it's done with these ones. But go over it. Sherry, I see your hand is raised. Go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, so sorry. So it says here on the left up to 25 years of age, which is what we thought and what it used to be. But over here on the right, it says 5 days old up to 18. Oh, being put on as a rider.
The kids that are on the policy will be covered up until they're age 25.
But putting on, okay, I got it. Yeah.
But if you're writing an application, like if I was doing an application for you today, and let's say you had an 18-year-old and then a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, the 13 and 10-year-old would be covered on, we could put them on your policy. However, your 18-year-old, we would have to write his own policy.
Sorry, yep, got it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Or Dad, if I don't know if you wanted to say anything.
Just a comment. Let's say that I'm playing that Natasha might need to buy a car today. She have to buy a car because the family need the car. The key word need. She have to get it. Now, Natasha, would you like and she have a budget, obviously. And Natasha, would you rather get a car without air condition and without power window, and or would you like to have power window and power windows? You wanna have the basic power window and air condition. You're in Florida.
Oh yeah, no, I need the air conditioning. I need the windows, the power windows.
Would you buy the car without air condition and with and the window? Or you want the car to be sufficient? You see,
Yes.
cheap. What would you call a car that have no air condition and no power windows? You just gotta go like this every time you're gonna roll up the window. Cheap, right?
Cheap,
and cheap do not accommodate you.
Right.
So if you want a cheap term insurance to protect your family, that's to drive. To protect your family, that is 100 times more important. Do you want something cheap or something that have all the benefits?
All the benefits.
All the benefits. So let's go and work with something that have all the benefit for you. And that's what Pramerica offer. We're not cheap. We're good. We're the best.
Right.
And that's what we are, by the way. If I believe that people don't have life insurance coverage with me, they have the wrong coverage. All the time. Sometimes people have insurance that pay $40 and I come back and give them $100 and they take it because of the value. So I will never, if people say, oh, you're too expensive, I say, well, you are not for me. I'm not cheap. I protect your family the right way. Look at the benefit that I give you. Now let's compare apples to apples and you see if it's worth it. You pay more for your car. That's when I give them the example. I give them these thousands of examples that you gave them, that they buy better things, but they have to pay more. Better costs always more. But it's not about cost, it's about value. All right. Natasha, great job. And Natasha's going to put that presentation so that way you can have it. I'm going to close the meeting with a short presentation about building a team. Because here, guys, we have the best product for everything. But the bottom line, Keisha, at the end, is not, well, maybe it is for you. I don't know. It's not for me. You have the option to be in Pramerica. You have the option to be, let's compare Pramerica to McDonald's. You have McDonald's Corporation, you have the franchise, and you have the actual employees, the one that sells the business, Both of them will distribute products. The only thing is that the salesmen will make, they're selling the hamburgers, they make less money. The franchise make more money, and the McDonald's corporation make more money. Wow, what is it that McDonald's Corporation do? They look for franchise owners. They don't look for clients that want to buy the hamburgers. What is it that the franchise owners do. They look for employees that want to sell and the employees sell. Who make less money? The employees all the time. If you go to Remax, same thing. What Remax Corporation do, Edward? They look for brokers that want to buy Remax agencies. And what is it that the broker from Remax will do? They look for agents that want to sell the house. The salesmen are every single day have to get up to look for somebody that want to buy a house. It's very insecure. Now, if the Remax broker is looking for agents that want to sell the house, and who make more money, the corporation, then the Remax broker, and then the agent. That's in the order. Primerica is the same thing. You have the chance to become let's call it Remax Corporation. The people that want to look for RVPs, or the people of the RVPs that want to look for agents. So it's about building a team, guys, all the time. The person that gets far away from the point of sales will always make the most money. Always, Keisha. Always, not some of the time, all the time, in any line of business. You get away from the point of sales, you make money. So don't stay. Now, how do we start in Primerica? Primerica is a very convenient business. Very convenient, because you don't have to quit your job. You start part-time. But man, start building your business so you can get away from the point of sale. So you consistently got to be looking for people that want to work with you. That's what the opportunity meeting is for. That's what the one-on-one interviews are for. That's what the presentations that we do are for. You gotta be offered. There is thousands of people right now jobbing. The only indicators that we saw today in the meeting, if you saw the meeting today and you saw the indicators of the economy, right? One of the few, it's only two. One of the few is job insatisfaction. Job satisfaction is down. People are looking for something different to do. So we got to build a team. So I have a 5 minutes presentation that I want to do with you on 4 game plans. You see, here is something I'm finding out. I'm telling you, I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I'm finding out things like this brochure over here. I cannot give it to you, but I'm going to send you the presentation that I'm going to do at the end. Okay. This is R. Williams. You see, say here, do a big winners playbook from R. Williams, 4 plays that I'm going to give you here right now. And I'm going to give you the characteristics of a leaders, and you evaluate yourself where you're in those characteristics, But I'm pumped up about this. Let me just show you these 4 plays which I'm pumped up about it, like you have no idea. Here is, and I'm telling you, thank you to ChatGPT, man. This is, they made me good. Now they made me look very smart. Chat, my friend Chat, But anyways, here is the presentation for R. Williams, 4 keys to building great teams. And here is the first one, okay? The first one is key one, the number 1 key, build personal relationships. And I'm going to go quickly through that because we don't have time. This is a one-on-one, face-to-face business. Okay, so that and continually you got to be building relationship, build trust, so people believe in themselves and their potential. You got to build trust with this, and you got to believe in people more than they believe in themselves. Get involved in your people's life, know the family, know their goals, get together with them, eat together with them, build relationship with your people to build big team. Celebrate every success, big and small. That's one thing that we got to get very strong. Whenever they pass the test, whenever they do the first sale, whenever they get their license, whenever they go to class, whenever celebrate the success with them. Your people are your biggest asset. That's one of the things that I know. Always remember, when you look at each person in your organization, pretend that they have a big neon sign in their chest saying, make me feel special. It's always about making people feel special all the time. You win with the people, no products and commissions. Make everybody feel special and important. People want to feel special. They have that big sign. So recognize people all the time. So that key of building a great team is building personal relationships. Key number two, have passion about what you do. I mean, you saw a great product. You saw what is happening with people with life insurance. Maria Natasha showed the statistic of what's going on. Valerie, you were, if you noticed Valerie, she almost cried when she said what she said today. You know how people are struggling because they don't have life insurance. So get passionate about helping our community. You know, this is a serious business. We change people's life. Passion comes from your heart. Passion comes from your heart. Your passion is your heart. It's in your is your heart. Your passion is your mind. You know, your passion is your soul. You get passion by loving it. Take it personal and love what you do. Never forget what you start. What hey, never forget what blow yourself out of it. Like the rule of 72. What is it that you got excited about doing this for? I mean, if you are here, it's a Saturday, and we start at 8 o'clock. What something got you here? What is it that you got you here? So never forget to have it there, have it in your heart, and remember that people win with their heart, not with their brains. Or you win with emotion, no logic. Okay, get others to fall in love with your mission. That's what you got to do. The crusade is alive. What is your mission in here? My mission, is to help people financially. But you know what? Get people of the message. People are sick and tired of working for somebody else. Okay, so that's my passion right now. Okay, so the number three, be a leader, recruit the right people. This is very important. Recruit the right people. Who are the right people here? Leaders attract others. Be an example. So the first thing that you got to do is become a leader. Become a leader, and leaders attract people that are like themselves. Okay, nobody have ever devised a test, no will devise a test that can measure the heart of a champion. So do it first, lead by doing it. That's step number two here. Recruit motivated, hungry, and committed people. Recruit motivated, hungry, and committed people. Hungry. People are hungry to get better. Hungry people do not get like Joyce and I and the group of people, that the 7 people that I talked about at the beginning. We learned that this week. We cannot get frustrated. We gotta be hungry all the time. Only hungry people are passionate. We don't get frustrated, especially don't get frustrated of the job that is not done. Jesus, I'm frustrated. How many appointments you have this week? None. Well, you are not getting the job done. Don't be hungry. Be hungry. Be hungry. Don't get frustrated. Be obsessed with winning. Give it all. Greatness is found in the small details. This is very important. The difference between winning and losing is this small, like this little bit, only this little bit. What's that small? This much is a special kind of have to do with the attitude. The small is not doing more things, not doing more presentation. No, the small thing is the attitude. And you know what? It got to be an attitude of champion, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude that you're going to do things. It's not an attitude that I deserve things. It's an attitude that you want to do things for people. Mental toughness and desire to be somebody are essential. So be a leader. So far you have three kids. One is build relationship. The other one is you gotta have passion, and the other one is you gotta be a great leader. Okay, and to be a great leader, it's all about people, right? And then the last one is that they gotta be a oneness in your team. That's why we're putting this system together. Okay, that way and we develop a oneness. We're gonna build great relationships. You have no idea what is coming in the next 7 months. And Brian, from here, not 7 months, in the next 5 months, from now to the end of the year, we're gonna develop this oneness. And you're gonna see how we're gonna move. Like that's those 7 people that get together every day. We're developing a oneness right now, little by little, but we're getting there. but then we're gonna make it all throughout the team. It's gonna be like a pandemic. Okay, and we're gonna grow. Anyways, here, everyone must operate with one heartbeat. Unity is the key. There is a Primerica way or the highway. That's one of the things that you're gonna. Yeah, that's one of the things that the people are learning on Tuesday through Friday. It's either the one way, our system, or the highway. You know, go somewhere else. I mean, when we need a oneness, success takes time. It is a 10 to 20 years game plan. So you gotta know that it takes time. You're gonna be planting. When you plant, you just gotta wait. You cannot plant apples today and expect them tomorrow. It's gonna take time. It's a 10 years to 20 years game plan. Beautiful, that's what it is. Avoid changing path. Stay focused and consistent. I promise you, with this system, we're gonna make it win, and we're gonna stay with it until all of you win. Okay, we're not gonna be changing anything. Believe in yourself. Women expect to win. That's a key, guys. Expect to win. You will win. If you read this book that we're reading right now, one of the things that I encourage you is to make sure to get in the conference call in the morning, 7:30. Okay, and read the books. In this book, the slight edge, they explain to you clear. It's very clear in chapter 2 that all what you gotta do is to expect to win and keep doing the same thing that is gonna make you win for how long? For the rest of your life in the different areas of your life. Women have a can-do attitude and demand success. You have to do. You gotta have that demand. A can-do attitude. Okay, very important. A can-do attitude. So that's key number 4. I give you the ingredients of the leaders. I'm gonna go through that quickly here. Winners are so that gun focused. It is ridiculous. That's one thing. We gotta, like right now, I'm telling you, I'm focused on what I want to do. I want to make sure that in my cash flow, it got to be over $40,000 a month. I'm focused on hitting the $400,000 for the end of the year. I'm focused on helping all of you to win. I'm focused on right now in the people that are working with me during the morning in those meetings, for them to become successful, for them to become recruiters and builders. Okay, so this company was built for tough people. This is very important. You gotta listen. Nobody said that it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough, and it's gonna be really tough. Winning is tough, but if you have a system and consistency, you will win. Everybody will. So I believe that all of you will win big time if you follow this principle. You got to find people that want it, that see it, that believe it, that love it. You got to find, that's the quality of a leader. That's what you're looking for. The single most important thing you develop in your lifetime is a positive. It is, and it will always be your attitude. Not an attitude that I deserve this. If you look for people, I promote me to regional leader so I can make more money. Can you do? No, you are looking for people that have a value-driven attitude. I'm gonna do the things that I'm supposed to do to win. If people ask you for things, they are people that are not going to win. They gotta change that attitude. That's not a positive attitude. It gotta be an attitude that is a value-driven. Value-driven attitude is like I do the work and then I deserve the reward. That's a value-driven attitude in anything. Okay, so you always got to have a work it out attitude. The glass is halfway got to be half full. So the glass has always got to be half full. You got to look for the good things in all the situations. See every situation, there is something good in every adversity. Do you see adversity as an adversity, or do you see an adversity as an opportunity to get better? Okay, that's the attitude that you gotta have. You got to expect your people to be positive. I expect it. Talk to people. You expect it, and then people will become tough. You cannot ever let your meeting turn into a group session. You can overcome every problem in the world, but you cannot overcome an attitude problem. So we got to start being positive all the time. you can overcome financial problems, business problems, personal problems, recruit problems, self problems, but you cannot overcome an attitude problem. So I will used to say the most important lesson I learned in coaching football and coaching the L. Williams, okay, the company that today is Pramerica. This is one of the multi millionaires in the world, by the way. Is you win with your heart, not your head. So that's I wanted to do this presentation for you today because I'm excited. I'm all right now. You see, that's how I built this business with Hart William. Okay, I will put that in the chat in a little bit, but let me just finish with these guys. The month is over, July. Whether you did good or bad, it doesn't matter. We're gonna start we start a new game. The new game of August. The company have a meeting today, the RVP meeting. If you want to connect, I mean, I'm going to open my Zoom. And if you want to connect at noontime and listen to the RVP meeting. And you can watch it from my Zoom. Okay. It's only for RVPs, but I want all of you are RVP in training today. All right. All of you are RVPs in training. All of you are RVPs in training anyways. So if you want to watch it, you are welcome and see the president of the company. What I'm going to tell you, have a goal, guys, to have August, Valerie, to be a great month. Move, Valerie. Your goal is to keep moving, Valerie. You guys say, well, this month I'll be a district leader. You know, we're going to have, I think it's the 23rd or the 25th, okay, or the 25th, whatever that Saturday is. I don't remember, okay? But that Saturday is going to be our next Super Saturday. We're going to be with Mariana. And we got to promote district leaders, Joyce. That's got to be who is going to get promoted to district leader. I think Valerie will be one of our district leaders this month. Get your next promotion for that. For that, plenty of time in the next. I recruited somebody yesterday. I promise you that person will be district leader by the time we come. So if you're not a district leader yet, become a district leader. If you're not a division, become a division. If you're not a regional leader, become a regional leader. If you're not a VP, well, start working to become a regional vice president. Okay, a regional vice president. So that got to be your goal. What's my next promotion? And have a great month in the month of August. If you didn't recruit 3 people before, recruit 3 people. But if you recruit 3 people before, if you didn't recruit nobody last month, well, have a goal, 3 or 5 recruits. Okay, but listen, build a team. You are here to build your team, whether it's small or big, but build something. You know, put your leadership in practice right now and become big doing this. So listen, I wish you a great weekend. If you want to get connected with us to the RVP meeting, I will have my RVP, my Zoom open by noontime. Let me send you that presentation before you disconnect. Let me, I got to close the presentation. The presentation that I did at the beginning, I know some of you already asked for it, but I cannot send it until it's ready. So, but let me just send you this one, just hand it a little bit, and I send it to you. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'll send it right there. It's right there, okay? So just have that presentation and have a great weekend, guys. And I hope to see some of you at noontime, okay? There is a training in Spanish for the B-Dollar Smart. And I don't know if there is a B-Dollar Smart 11:30, but if I were you, I get to the RVP meeting. All right? I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Great
Bye.
training. Natasha was amazing.
you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jesus, there's going to be a Spanish one, right? A B-Dollar Smart in Spanish, right?
Yeah, I'm getting right now. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go into that one then.
All right.
Let me